Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we're going to be talking about solo skirmish games and some positive reasons to give it a go. I've been working on some solo rules for my own game recently, and I thought it would be quite interesting to use some of these rules, change them a little bit, and introduce them to some existing skirmish games. So I did a recent poll on YouTube just asking if anyone would be interested in solo rules and a custom campaign that's compatible with Kill Team, and I've just put another one up to see the same question but with Warcry, because I think there's some scope there for sure. So the result is pretty good, and after 2,400 votes, 90% of you said yes, that sounds good. So really cool. It's great to know that there's certainly some interest out there, and thanks so much to everyone who took part in the poll and voted, and check out that Warcry one that's up at the moment. Following that poll, I thought it'd be fun to have a look at some of the solo games and just talk about some of the reasons why I think playing solo war games is fun, and you don't even have to play solo rules. You can literally play yourself using the existing rules, but I think having solo rules that are specific to games makes it even better. Having that AI working in the background is awesome. So as we go through, I'll recommend a few games, and it'd be awesome if you could comment down below with some of your suggestions as well. If we can promote some independent game creators, send some attention their way, that'd be fantastic. So yeah, looking forward to hearing your experiences of solo games and the ones you like playing the most. So let's go. Why solo skirmish games? So first of all, before we get into the positive reasons, I mean, the main thing for me with this hobby, the most fun part, is the social aspect. That took my hobby to the next level, and having a club to play in every week is just so much fun, and it's, you know, for so many reasons. And I've done a video about that previously on the channel if you'd like to check it out. I'll link to it at the end of this one. Here's some of the members from my group that's run by John in his shop, the Little Shop DVD and Games, my friendly local game store in Liscar, Cornwall, and I'll put a link to his website down in the description below if you want to check it out. So yeah, although the social aspect of gaming is really fun, I think solo wargaming isn't for lonely people. It's not just for people who can't find a club or are lucky enough to have a group of people who are interested as well. It can be for people who like playing on their own. I like being on my own, and I like playing solo games as well as going to the social side of things and playing at a club every week too. So there's certainly nothing wrong with playing on your own. And in a world where things are either or, I think we have to come back to the idea that you can do both. You don't have to just choose one path to go down. You don't have to just play solo games or just play socially with other people. You can do both. Why not play both types, you know? So we need some nuance here. It doesn't have to be one or the other. The way I think about it is quite similar to video games. You know, you'll play online, like with Call of Duty perhaps, you'll play against other people, and that's really fun. But if you wanted to do like a narrative campaign and play through the game, you're often playing on your own. And so video games are a great example of doing both. You don't have to choose one over the other. Both have their positives and negatives too. And you could say the same thing for chess as well. It's great to play in person, you know, against somebody else, but you could also play online against other people, or you could play against the AI on like places like chess.com, play against the computer, and you know, you're going to get a different experience, but still it's fun and you're enjoying yourself. And that's what this hobby is all about for me. So let's get started, have a look at some of the reasons I think solo gaming can be a fun part of the hobby. First up, you can try out new games that no one else is interested in. So if you're playing at a local club, maybe everyone's into 40k, which is going to be the case, I think, in many places. Of course, you're going to try out new games, but sometimes people just won't want to do it. Zombicide's a great example of this. This isn't the sort of thing perhaps you would go to a club every week and play, but you might love it and want to play it a lot. So being able to play solo means you can work through it. And the rules within Zombicide are kind of geared towards that. So it's a great game for co-op and solo. The biggest draw of solo wargaming for me is that you can build a narrative campaign around a favourite model or an idea you've got. And this is a really cool part. You can grab some models from the shelf, get some of your favourite models out, and then start playing a game that you like based around those models. And you could even go completely out of the box. You could play the life of a bomb squig and make that work into a game somehow. Take this squig on a campaign and see what happens to him. And playing these little narrative campaigns on your own is really good fun. I started getting into wargaming seriously when I started the channel a couple of years ago, and I started playing Warcry, and I just played on my own. I played against myself. I didn't use any AI or any solo rules. I simply just went from one side to the other, and that was a great way to learn the rules of the game, and I think you could certainly apply that to games like Core Space. This is a brilliant game. This was actually designed with solo play in mind by the creator who loves playing solo games. So this is really interesting, a great setup, really cool system, and I think you'll love it. I've done loads of videos if you want to check those out. But another cool thing about getting the Core Space box sets, once you've got all that terrain, you could introduce other games like Space Station Zero, and that's another solo rules set included in it, and that would work in the same terrain set. So you're almost getting 2 for 1. You just buy this one box of terrain with a complete rule set, and then you could buy other games that will work in it. And so I think that's a really good way to save a bit of money as well. And again, you could use other models. You could use terrain from one game, models from another, mix it all up and use the rules from something completely different. And that's really fun. You can even take games that don't have solo rules and then have a look at some different games, like even Curse City, some of the bigger named games. They've got some interesting mechanics in there for solo rules that you can kind of take, twist it, tweak it, make it your own. Here they've got like behavior tables on the individual cards, so the bad guys are going to do certain things on a roll of a dice. So that's one way of doing it, but there's loads of other ways. So as well as learning the rules, it's a great way to practice. And check out this, Warcry Tome of Champions 2020 has got a whole section called Wildfighters, and this has got some AI mechanics built in which I think are really interesting too. So if you haven't seen that yet, definitely recommend checking it out if you like playing Warcry, and this is something I'm going to have a look at in a bit more detail and see if we can create some campaigns around this and maybe add a few extra fun rules into it as well. Another reason for solo gaming is that it's not always easy to find people to play with regularly, so that can be difficult if you're not lucky enough to have a club like the Little Shop DVD games near you. So having the option to play solo means you can play any games you like, even make up your own games as well, and play whenever you want. That's really important. So when you've got that gaming itch you just want to scratch, having solo game options is brilliant. Another great reason is a lot of solo and co-op games are miniature agnostic. So you can get models from great places like Anvil Industry. I've done a video on their models, a few actually, if you want to check those out. And I've also done a video dedicated to mini agnostic games, which is really fun. So check that out too. But you could use anything. You could use toys. Lego is great for skirmish games, especially if you've got kids. They would love to play something like this, bringing their Lego to life with a fun rule set. That's really cool. And anytime I talk about miniature agnostic games, I have to go back to Northumbrian Tin Soldier. I really love this company. Some fantastic models. I've bought so many of them. Got a massive collection. I still haven't painted them all, but I can't wait to get going with them. Brilliant for D&D as well. These fit in, or your own RPG that you play. Yeah, really cool models. Definitely check those out too. Another great reason is, as well as being miniature agnostic, you can just play any genre you like, and as I mentioned earlier, mixing things up is really fun. Terrain from one place, like here, where we've got War Cradle Scenics terrain, and we're using models from Dead Man's Hand by Great Escape Games. So combining two different companies there, we can come up with some fun ways to play. But once you've got your collection going, and sometimes these games can sit on the shelf for a while. Again, if you haven't got anyone to play with them often, you know, you want to get the most out of these. So get some solo rules in play, and then you can get these games down more often. When you're starting out playing games, sometimes you can feel like, I don't know, you're a bit slow and you're holding others back. So giving a go at solo wargaming and learning rules like we spoke about earlier means you can play at your own pace, and you can go through the games as fast or as slow as you like. And that's a really good way to learn the game, learn the army you're playing with. And I can definitely recommend that. It's something that I'm going to do more of, especially now we've got the new rules for Astra Militarum. I'm going to be playing on my own a lot to really figure those out and play around with some different army lists. And how about going really slow, play a whole campaign in one day? Maybe, again, you're only meeting for a couple of hours a week at a club, or you might have a tournament every now and again. But if you want to play a whole campaign, perhaps you want to play all day. 12 hours of gaming would be a marathon to get a big campaign played in a game. But that'd be great. That would be really fun too. And there's no reason why you can't do that with solo play. When you start playing solo games, you'll notice a lot of them are also co-op games, all the other way round. Like you could get a co-op game like Curse City and just play it on your own, so play it solo. And so having that option is really good. So certainly look out for co-op games as well. And I think things like Zombicide's perfect for that. You know, designed as maybe a game you want to play as a co-op, but works brilliant solo. But I've covered Brutality. Now this is a really fun game if you want some in-depth rules with loads of mechanics and different monsters to fight against. I've covered it in battle reports already on the channel in different varieties. So yeah, if you want to check those out, that's going to give you a really nice introduction. So there we go, that's just a few reasons why I think solo skirmish games can be really fun to play, and that's the most important part of the hobby for me. It's all about having fun. You know, if you want to try something, just try it, give it a go, and certainly don't feel like this is just something that people who don't have any friends do. This is for everybody, and it's just another aspect of the hobby that's worth exploring. You might not enjoy it, but you might love it. So yeah, give it a try, see what happens. I'm looking forward to hearing your recommends for different game creators and solo games to try out, and also I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic, so add all that down in the comment section below. Thanks so much for watching the video, hope you liked it. I'll put some links at the end here so you can go and check out that video I talked about miniature agnostic games, that's well worth a look, and also some other skirmish game videos too. Yeah, thanks again, and if you liked the video, please hit the like button, subscribe too, that really helps out the channel. If you've enjoyed the videos I've been putting out over the past couple of years, then please subscribe, and then you can keep up to date with all the new videos coming out, and I can't wait to see you here next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'd like to say a massive thank you to my Patreon supporters for helping me keep going with these videos and supporting the channel from the beginning. If you'd like to support the channel and join the community too, there's a link in the description below. Be awesome to see you there.